Hello once again, Toti here, and we are in the letter B of chapter 3, which is the interest on share capital. So the title of chapter 3 is Allocation and Distribution, and under that the letter B is interest on share capital. So practically the allocation and distribution in terms of the interest on share capital. So number one, we determine the allowable interest rates. So under this determining the allowable interest rate, the Cooperative Development Authority provides regulations and guidelines for cooperatives in the Philippines. According to the CDA, the interest rate on share capital should not exceed the normal rate of investment. So but how much is the normal rate of investment will need to be identified by I don't know, expert opinion or the CDA, but whatever that is written that according to the CDA, the interest rate on share capital should not exceed the normal rate of investment. The next one is the goal is to strike a balance between providing fair returns to members and maintaining financial stability. So that's the important here. For example, the CDA have a ruling regarding the first 5 years of operation of the cooperative that the reserve fund should reserve fund allocation should be 50% of the net surplus after deducting 50% of that is to build up with the financial stability of the cooperatives and not to spill over by returning it to the members right away. So that will open up for the co-op to expand, to have a breathing operational financial stability. Now, second one is the typical interest rates. So interest rates in cooperative typically range between for now maybe 4 and 8%. So these rates are often higher than what banks offer. Members' deposit and transaction with cooperative are often tax exempt, or it is basically tax exempt naman talaga yung mga activities ng cooperative. In the calculation, number 3, the rate of interest on share capital is computed by dividing the amount allocated for total interest on share capital by the total average share. I will illustrate this one once we go to the workshop chapter. Another one is the cooperative should ensure that the interest rate aligns with the financial health and the cooperative's ability to generate surplus. Remember, the allowable interest rate should be fair to members while maintaining the cooperative sustainability. Cooperatives should consult legal experts and consider the specific circumstances when determining this rate. So that's very important here. Now, let's move to the number 2, which is the allocating interest payments to members. So interest on share capital, by definition, it refers to the interest earned by cooperative members on their paid up capital. Members contribute to the cooperative by purchasing shares, and the cooperative pays them interest on these shares. So the interest on share capital is determined by the cooperative based on its financial health and regulatory guidelines. The calculation involves the following steps: the rate of interest, which is the cooperative decide on an appropriate interest, usually between 4 to 8%, and then the average share capital. Calculate the average share capital held by each member over a specific period. The individual interest, multiply the average share capital by the interest rate to arrive at the individual interest on share capital for each member. So anyway, don't worry much about that right now. I will when we go over the workshop to compute the actual interest on share capital, patronage refund, as well as the statutory fund, it will become clearer to you. Now, the payment and distribution, the interest payments are made periodically to cooperative members. The cooperative ensures transparency by providing statements showing the interest earned by each member, and then the interest on share capital is considered part of the cooperative surplus but is specifically allocated to members. In the equity principle, it emphasizes fairness and proportional treatment of members. By paying interest on share capital, cooperatives recognize members' financial contribution and provide them with return on their basic investments. Cooperative must also comply with the requirements regarding interest rates, reporting, and distribution. The Cooperative Development Authority provides guidelines to ensure consistency and protect members' interests. So, in summary, allocating interest on share capital payments is the fundamental practice in cooperatives. It reflects the cooperative's commitment to its members and reinforces the cooperative spirit of shared benefit. So that's the most important here. So in number 3, which is the balancing returns on investment. Now, the cooperative will aim to strike a balance between providing fair returns to members and maintaining financial stability. So it gives fair returns, but at the same time, stability is considered. So here's how the cooperative should strike the balance between these two. The interest rate, cooperatives determine an appropriate interest rate on share capital. These rates should be competitive enough to attract investments but not overly burdensome for the cooperative. So reinvestment, financial stability is important. Risk considerations, cooperative assess the risk associated with their investments. Higher risk investments may yield higher returns, but they also come with increased volatility. Members' welfare, so balancing returns that ensures members receive reasonable interest while allowing the cooperative to allocate surplus funds effectively. The equity principles, cooperatives adhere to the equity principle, ensures that members benefit proportionally from their investments. So that's it. So in summary, balancing returns on investment involves managing interest rates, assessing risk, and prioritizing members' welfare. The cooperative strive to create a win-win situation where members receive fair returns and the cooperative remains financially sound. Okay, so that's it. That's for letter B under the chapter 3 of this course. So thank you very much and see you in the next lesson.